Welcome to another episode of Systematic Geekology. This is a space where we seek to create and cultivate healthy conversations between those things we geek out on and the philosophical and theological questions that often arise out of our fandoms. Like, what does it mean to be human? What makes a hero? What makes a villain? How do the stories and narratives we geek out on shape how we live in the world? We are your priest to the geeks. We aren't all ordained, but we see ourselves as mediators at the intersection of geek culture and going deeper in our faith. We don't always have to agree, but we do respect each other, and we see everyone as a beloved child of God. Everyone geeks out on something, so come geek out with us and enjoy the show.
You're listening to an Anazal Ministries podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rodent chefs and foodies of all ages, we welcome you all to the wonderful world of Walt Disney Animation Studios. This is a part of our Disney era. We are talking, well, it's not a part of our Disney era. We understand this movie is not a Disney era, but we just have to include it. If you did not catch the three key words is, we're talking about a little chef. TJ, do you want to tell us what we're talking about before I introduce you? I'm jumping ahead.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. I am Elizabeth Clyde, and I am joined with one of my co-hosts, TJ Black. Is it Blackwell? Blackwell? I'm so tired.
Those were the same word. Yeah.
Blackwell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Blackwell.
well, I'm just so used to saying like Tejas or something like that.
So it's a little town in England called Blackwell.
Okay. I never really call you by your last name, so I second guess myself. But we are here. We're excited to talk to you about Disney Pixar Ratatouille. So if you enjoyed this episode, you can catch other Disney eras we have been covering. Make sure you check that out. And if you have your laptop, please consider rating and reviewing our show on Podchaser or Good Pods. This will help us gain recognition and easier to find in search engine. Or if you're on your phone, please consider rating, reviewing, or commenting on our show with Apple Podcasts, Spotify. This will help prioritize the show and just let other people know us. Because, I mean, not to sound conceited, I kind of like us. Do you like us, TJ?
We're okay.
I think we're pretty okay, and hopefully other people think we're okay. So if you think we're pretty okay, share us so other people can hear us. And remember, if you would like your own shout out, like I'm about to do with Amber Riley, thank you, Amber, for being a Patreon member. You too can have a shout out for just $3 a month on one of our three platforms: Patreon, Captivate, you name it. So we're gonna just go into it, because I'm so excited. This is the two, I would say, chefs of the hosts joining us talking about Ratatouille.
Yeah. I would include Josh. Josh cooks a lot at home.
Okay, fine. But I don't like Josh, so I'm not going to say he's a chef. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But according to Ratatouille, not really Ratatouille, but the movie, anyone can cook. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. TJ, do you want to give us just a summary of Ratatouille for the people who may have been living under a rock and not seen it or know nothing about this movie?
So if you've never heard of Ratatouille, the general plot, this is Disney Pixar film, so naturally our main character is a rat, and his name is Remy, and he has a dream to become a chef one day, which as a rat is kind of a pipe dream, but he happens to have the pleasure of living in France and kind of accidentally moves to Paris. So as far as chef dreams go, that's pretty much where you want to be. And we just kind of go through his journey of becoming a chef and looking up to his idol, who is Gusteau, who's not really analogous to Chef Boyardee in real life, but like they do kind of play that up a little bit. Gusteau was like a 5-star chef, fell from grace, and now is like Chef Boyardee, and then he passes away. So our main human character, Linguini, is Gusteau's estranged son. He didn't know he was Gusteau's son, but he is, and that is who Remy ends up meeting and controlling. So they meet, and you know, obviously this is a rat, so not super friendly, but Linguini realizes the rat can cook, and then they realize that the only way Linguini can, you know, keep his job, because he's not a good chef, is if Remy does the cooking. So they find out Remy can control Linguini through pulling his hair. And if you haven't seen it, I really don't want to spoil the rest, but it's such a phenomenal movie. It's really fantastic. I would say is probably top 3 Disney movies for me, at least. Top 1 Pixar movie, I think. And it's just fantastic.
Yeah, we ended up talking about this movie and doing a rabbit trail in one of our other podcasts and kind of derailed. I think it was when we were talking about the Inside Out movie. Mm-hmm. And so Josh was like, okay, guys, do this now. Like, here's your time to shine. So this is the one time I will say, thank you, Josh. Appreciate you slightly. I'm very excited to talk about this movie. I remember seeing this. I can't remember when it came out, but I was just super excited being a culinary background. And I think at this time I'm not sure if I was a chef. I don't think I was a chef instructor at the time, but I would always play this movie one time each semester, and my students would do a worksheet because it's a really, just looking at a culinary standpoint, it's pretty informative. Like you can literally, I could create a whole lesson plan off of this movie. And just whenever Linguini starts the restaurant, and you can kind of see he's kind of a bit of a screw up, and he just really needs this job. And he starts as like a dish boy. And so from there, that's when TJ was saying, like, he works his way up through the help of Remy, pretending like he can cook, because it's not really him cooking. But even Claudette takes him under the wing. Claudette is one of the chefs there. Colette is her name. I always just say Claudette. Colette. Yeah, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. She's that person. I'm going to keep on saying it wrong, so I'm sorry if I offend you guys. It's just how I remembered it. And so she kind of takes him under the wing. And I remember specifically, she described all the chef positions, and she did it very accurately. And then just seeing the different positions and how they work in the kitchen was really fun. So if you have any kind of culinary background, you just appreciate the attention to detail with that, and how you choose the bread, and how you know what's the good produce and whatnot. It's just really, like, I appreciate it, which is why this is one of the top movies for me as well.
Yeah. And it really is like very accurate to what a real kitchen is like. And it's just fun to watch because, you know, what happens is Remy seasons some soup. You know, he's a rat doing his thing, stealing from the kitchen, and he walks past a soup pot that is about to scorch, I think. And he smells it and he's like, oh, I got to stop that. Then he tastes it and he's like, well, this could use a little. So Remy just makes a new soup in the back, pretty much. He changes the entire thing, and then it gets served, and a food critic eats it, and he's like, oh, that was good. And they want to know who the chef is, and they, you know, blame Linguini, because when they came to serve the soup, Linguini was confronting Remy, you know, the rat, about changing the food. So that's how he becomes a chef. They're like, oh, well, they liked it. It's good. And yeah, he cooks now. So, but they tell Colette, or Colette finds out, and she teaches him how to be a chef. So it's cool, and it works for both of them. And then some more sad stuff happens later.
I know it's so hard going over this because I don't want to spoil it too much. So I won't even talk about the little whispers of romance in this, even though, I mean, it's the city of love. It's Paris.
Yeah.
But
they ride a Vespa together.
It's so So sweet. I mean, Linguini has the moves.
He does.
He does.
He does.
But the main, I guess you could say, is it called antagonist? The person who is, I just love him. I quote him all the time. He's a food critic. And so what this restaurant is kind of going downhill since that head chef, Chef Boyardee, but not Chef Boyardee, died. And so there's nothing new. There's no innovation. So they're using the same old recipe, which is why whenever Remy doctored up the soup, it was such a big deal, because when the food critic had it, it was new, it was fresh. And it kind of put the restaurant back on the map. And so Ego, who wrote a really bad review already, heard that this restaurant is coming back alive. And he's like, no, once I say it's so, he's super, super big in the industry. He's like, once I say you're done, you're done. So Ego is kind of frustrated. Now he's like, don't call me a liar. And he confronts Linguini saying he will be back. And one of the line I quote all the time is like, if I don't like it, I don't swallow. And when he first comes in to actually do the food critic, and Linguini is like, what would you like to order? He's like, I'm in the mood for perspective. It's just such a funny guy. He looks like, funny.
His name is Ego, and he plays it. He plays it really well. But I wouldn't actually consider him the antagonist. He's more of like a deuteragonist. Yeah.
That makes sense. The antagonist would be the little chef trying to take over everything. Yeah,
Chef Skinner, who was the head chef when Linguini gets hired, and when Remy, breaks in and starts messing with stuff. He definitely would be the antagonist to me.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
All of these characters are great. There's really not one that I think is out of place here, and it's not just the food either. Ratatouille also is like very emotionally deep for the familial perspective, because Remy is trying to follow his dreams and become a chef, and his family, which is rats, so there's like 1,000 of them, they just want him to be a rat, and he has to deal with that, and they're like trying to talk him out of his dream and then take advantage of him later on, because he's got the keys to this amazing French kitchen.
Yeah, definitely. If we want to get into like just the deep of it. So you have a lot of kind of like, it's hard going against the family norm, like you have expectations of doing one thing. And so I guess I didn't really think about it until just now. So I have a similar story with Remy. So my dad was a physical therapist. I was supposed to go to PTA school or physical therapy school and take over the family business. And so when I decided to start PTA program and like work and then go to PT school down the road, physical therapist assistant. And so in my PTA program with that I started, I kept on passing the culinary section of school, and I would just pass by, and I loved Cake Boss. I loved Ace of Cakes. I loved to bake. And so I would just kind of look at them longingly. And then one day, I still can't believe I did this or remember all the details because it's a blur. I just went and switched my major, which is, strict Asian father, like going and say like, hey, Dad, I'm not going to take over the family doctor practice. I'm going to be a baker. Definitely a lot of like tension, a lot of headache, a lot of back and forth. And so I actually like experienced just the hardship of going against your family, and it doesn't make sense. Why would you not do what's expected of you? You know what I mean? So didn't make that connection until just now, but that's why even more, it just got higher in the ratings of Ratatouille.
Yeah. Remy, I also find Remy relatable because I'm a rat.
You are a rat. Okay, done.
And makes I have sense. Like 1,000 family members. Yeah. Well, it's very real.
I mean, I think we can end the show on that one then, and chew on that one. But even then, like, the ending is also just such, I know it's skipping ahead back and forth, but you guys just need to watch it and then come back and listen to us. But I really do not have anything like negative to say about this movie. It's engaging. Like I said, I've watched it when I was a teacher. I would watch it like 3 3 times a semester. So I would watch
6
it like
times a
6
year.
to 10 times a year, depending on which classes I was teaching. So 6 to 10 times a year, and I never would get bored. I could watch it tomorrow. It's
I could watch it right
engaging.
now.
Let's just end it and do a watch party and watch it right
Which
now.
I've been known to do before. I've been known to watch the thing we're talking about while we're recording these. I'm not this time, but I might as well.
Yeah,
Because Ratatouille really is one of those movies.
It kind of inspires you because you see Remy breaking the barriers with his family, but then you also see Linguini, and the heartstrings are pulled because his mom sends him to the restaurant with a letter. She just passes away. So at this point, he doesn't know it's his father. And so you kind of see him just going through life, because I can't relate to Linguini's story, but I'm sure so many other people can, who they've been down on their luck. They may not have been dealt a fair hand, but they're going to try their best anyway and be open-minded and do what they can do. And that's really all you can do in certain situations. Granted, I don't think anyone else is going to find a little rat chef and get controlled by them and end up having love in restaurants and all that famousness. But it's so like, everyone, like even like Ego, like has a happy ending. Remy has a happy ending. Linguini has a happy ending. Like just that one little chef dude is who suffers. Yeah. And even then, like it's not to the point of like he wasn't ruined. Like he could easily like if he wanted to change his ways and be fine.
Yeah, and it's also like it is interesting because we get Remy's perspective, who grows up watching Gusteau, and Gusteau's motto is anyone can cook, which, you know, Anton Ego takes issue with because he doesn't believe that anyone can cook because he misunderstands what that means. And he realizes that at the end of the movie because the epilogue's really good. Every part of this movie is phenomenal. I think that's really my point. Mm-hmm. But you get Linguini and Remy, who are our 2 protagonists, and they're basically complete opposites of each other. Remy is literally a rat. I just want to put that out there again. And he is, you know, Michelin chef quality, and Linguini is the son of, you know, at a time one of the most famous chefs alive, and he can't cook. Mm-hmm. And you know, his dad's favorite saying was anyone can cook. He didn't say anyone but my son, he just said anyone. But we get that's really fun to watch. And the soundtrack to this movie is phenomenal. The visuals are so good. The movie still holds up today. The climax, I feel like the climax of this movie is like 20, 30 minutes long, and it's so good.
There's no annoying drama for the sake of just having drama. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no like rabbit trails. There's no unnecessary scenes.
Yeah. The drama's real because the former head chef gets fired and finds out that there's a rat cooking all the food, and he tells the health inspector. That's real drama because there's a rat in the kitchen. And when the health inspector gets there, and you know, Chef Skinner gets there, there's like 1,000 rats in the kitchen. Because I don't want to spoil it, but
I know it's just coming together, family doing differences. Now I will ask if you believe it. I believe this is true. I didn't realize this first watching it. So at the very beginning of the movie, and this is kind of like a spoiler, but like we have to fill the time with what we're talking about, right?
We got to spoil it a little bit.
We got to spoil it a little bit, but and then you don't really catch it. So this is a good more Easter egg. So Remy is watching Chef Gusteau in a cottage, right? And then down the road, whenever Ego eats the food, he has a flashback of his childhood. And his childhood, if you look around behind him, it looks very similar to the cottage at the beginning, signifying that because he was brought back to his family. Food is very much associated to memories. We'll talk about that in a second. And so he was so moved because it brought him back to his childhood, which is crazy because Remy watched possibly his mom cooked his favorite dish. And so when they remade it, it was literally his mom's dish.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Has it ever been like confirmed that was his childhood home? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's straight up a flashback. Okay. I don't think they've confirmed that the old lady is his mom.
Right. But he
I
did
choose
straight up
to
have a
believe it is.
flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he had a
it just
flashback to
looks
eating
similar.
Ratatouille, title of the movie. It is so what Ratatouille is, and it's another part of this movie, almost said show, that is beautiful. But Ratatouille is like a French peasant vegetable stew. That's all it is. That's all it ever was before this movie came out. Ever since this movie came out, if you look up Ratatouille the dish, pretty much all you're going to see, for at least the first few results, are pictures of people making the ratatouille from this movie. Because instead of just being roughly chopped vegetables in a stew, now it is like this gorgeous layered palette of, seasonal vegetables. And it's also really good. I've made it a few times, and it just looks so cool. And it really makes you feel like you can cook if you can, if you have the knife skills to do it, or the money to buy a mandolin.
Gosh, mandolins are scary if you don't use them correctly.
Yeah, I would just, I'm just going to use my knife every time.
Just speaking of like just techniques and stuff, when it's not Claudette, Colette, thank you. When Colette was just showing Linguini around, and this is just watching it so many times, I noticed it. I didn't need anyone to tell me this Easter egg. She actually has a baker's burn on her wrist. And I've gotten so many of those. It's just so great. And pretty much you get it just when you pull out like a sheet pan from the oven. It kind of sometimes it just slightly grazes your wrist and you get a little burn. And she had one and it made me happy.
Yeah.
It's like twinsies.
This came out in 2007. So we're at like the height of Pixar just putting it all out there. And they don't miss a beat. The soundtrack is just so good for this too. There's not a single bad thing I can say about the movie, I think.
I'm trying to think of something bad to say, like, because everything works. Like, we need Linguini to be a little incompetent. Not incompetent. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
incompetent.
Incompetent. But you also see, because he had so low confidence, you see his growth. So he didn't just magically become good. You know what I mean? But through Remy, even though at the end, Linguini still was not a chef. He could not cook, but he learned the confidence to find something else he could do. Yep. And so confidence will really do so much for you, which I appreciate because it didn't end with unrealistic. Now Linguini is a beautiful chef. And so pretty much Ego, when he writes his final review, he gets what the whole mission was about. Anyone can cook. So spoiler again, but it's not that anyone can cook. Like, anyone has the potential to be a great chef, but a great chef can come from anyone, even a rat. And it's just, so profound.
It's so good. It's so good. I almost teared up a little bit. I don't know.
Just now? It moved you? Just that
Just
quote?
Thinking about it.
Wow. What was your favorite scene in this whole movie?
Oh, it's a hard choice, because I do think for me the funniest scene is when Remy's family helps him in the kitchen, and they all just get on a dish rack in the dishwasher, and
yes,
that's hilarious. That's so funny to me. But I think my favorite scene is probably the chase scene, when Skinner is chasing Remy through the streets of Paris. And also the music that's playing, which is The Chase by Michael Giacchino during that scene, it's phenomenal. It's so good. I don't think this won Best Original Soundtrack in 2007. I think it should have, if it didn't. But that scene where, we're seeing Chef Skinner chase Remy through Paris on a Vespa, and then, he's stealing the paper from him, which the papers are as a result of a paternity test. Because Skinner is trying to defame Linguini, naturally, because there's so much to this movie and it's so hard to mention it all. But
and it's like the more you watch it, just the better it gets too.
Yeah. But Remy steals the papers, trying to get them to Linguini, and Skinner chases him around Paris, and it's so fun to watch. And there's one particular scene where Remy's got the papers in his mouth because he's a rat, and he's trying to run away, so he's got to use all of his hands. But he jumps off the shore over the canal to get to this barge to get away from Skinner, and like the paper like flaps out into little wings and he just glides across and Skinner falls into the river. Mm-hmm. It's so good. That scene's great.
I think my favorite is, and it also made me laugh the most, was whenever Colette said it right. Whenever Colette was describing the backgrounds of all the chefs, and then one guy was like, "And so served time in prison," and so Linguini naturally asked, "For what?" She's like, "No one knows," and it goes into him like literally. Every time he tells it, it's always a different story. It's like, "I killed a man with my thumb," and like I did this, or I did embezzlement, or it's just I don't know why it made me laugh. So good. Much.
I also love that guy. That guy's a great character, and I don't remember his name, and I feel bad. I always just think of him as the thumb guy. Because he's like, I killed a man with this thumb.
So fun. And then it just kind of shows as well as like whenever in any work environment, really, you can have like just such a different background and become like a family. And it even shows too, whenever they found out about Remy, a lot of the chefs, they were like, I'm out, which I can't blame them. But, one stayed. I'm not going to say which one. Y'all can just context clues. But that's definitely my favorite scene. Just working together. And really, like, it also shows just from all the different backgrounds, like, a lot of the times you don't have to have the background to be where you are today, you know what I mean? You can always like pivot, change directions. Like just because you may not have gone to school for it doesn't mean like you can't start somewhere.
Yep. And man, it's impossible to overstate how good this movie is.
So what are you going to give it?
Might be the LeBron of Disney Pixar movies.
So what would you rate it as? 10.
Easily. 11.
I was going to say, can you go higher? Who's your favorite character besides Remy and Linguini?
I really like Colette. I think Colette's a great character. And she has a big nose.
She does. She does have a big nose. I wanted to say Colette, but like obviously female. So I'm like, I feel like that's like a cop out for me. So I'm going to say Ego is my favorite. That's also a good answer. If you're choosing out of like our main 7-ish characters, everyone has really phenomenal character building. Everyone's really well fleshed out. Remy's dad, Emile, that's his brother, Anton, Chef Skinner, even the health inspector. That dude's hilarious. The health inspector was funny. But I would, which is shocking. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever maybe I gave Mulan a 10 out of 10 just because it's my favorite Disney and I'm Chinese. So I'm very biased. Wow. Can I speak biased?
You're Chinese and you're very virused.
Virus. My speech impediment is showing right now. Oh my gosh. How embarrassing. It's also like super late at night as we're recording this.
It is 8:30 p.m.
To me, TJ, that's super late. So you do not need to call me out like that. Calm down. So I think because I can't say anything negative and I can't critique this. So I begrudgingly have to give it a 10. And I don't like giving things 10s because I always feel like there's room for improvement, but I can't say anything bad. So it's going to have to be a 10.
Yeah, I will gladly give out a 10 if it deserves it.
Do you wish they would have added or expounded on anything?
I would watch up to 9 sequels of Ratatouille, probably. If that's what you mean.
How would they even do a sequel?
They can't. It's a perfect story. It's got a great ending.
That's what I'm saying. Like it ended so great. Like they didn't have any loose ends. The real question is, have you been on the Ratatouille ride at Disney?
I have not.
Oh, it's magical.
I'm sure. I know it is. But have you ever cooked a Ratatouille?
I have not. I've had no desire. My husband doesn't really like tomatoes.
You should try it anyway. When I make it, I can send you my recipe. But when I make it, it tastes kind of like pizza.
Then maybe next time I'm in what's it called? Greenville, we can make it together. That'd be cute.
Yeah, we can do that. That'd be cool.
Hang out with your roommates again.
Yeah.
We're planning that. I think I'm going to Greenville in like a month or so. So I'll text you.
That'd be cool. But yeah, no, I brought one to Josh's last Friendsgiving. It killed. And it was reheated.
Oh, that's impressive. So the vegetables didn't get soggy?
Nope.
Did you have to
I have a really sharp knife.
Yeah, did you have to do anything we'll talk later. It's Ratatouille, but Well,
It's Ratatouille. And the way I didn't even get to finish my earlier thought, but the way Remy elevates the Ratatouille from this French peasant dish to like a 5-star, like gorgeous meal. It's so good. It's peak. It's really one of the greatest movies of all time, I think.
It's beautiful. I mean, as we wrap up, is there anything else you would want to say before we get to our bonus question?
Man, I don't know.
What do you think the bonus question should be? Hypothetically, if I did not prepare one, which obviously that's not the case. We're just doing hypotheticals.
Right. Well, we talked about this earlier, but I think the one that we should go with is probably like, if there were to be a rat in a kitchen, what would it take for you to eat there?
All right. I like it. We're going to go with that one, not because I didn't prepare a bonus question, it's because I just care about you as a person. So we're going to go with that one. So guys, if you are a Patreon, make sure you stay tuned for our bonus question when we talk about what will it take. I'm going to be honest, that is a good one. And my answer may surprise you. So that is for our Patreon listeners. Once again, if you're on your laptop, please rate us, review us on your phone, Spotify. Just let us know. I mean, if we're doing a bad job, maybe not let me know because I might cry. But we can always do better, slightly. I mean, I wouldn't say we're a 10 out of 10. We're not Ratatouille, you know what I mean? But few people are.
Yeah, almost nobody is.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully no one's just a pot of vegetables, but who knows? Could be a crazy Law and Order SVU episode. But once again, thank you again for our Patreon supporter. A special shout out to Amber Riley. We appreciate you helping us keep the lights on. And if you like this, make sure you check out other Pixar movies that we have done or other the Disney eras that we have on our playlist. Once again, thank you guys. Remember, we are all a chosen people, a geekdom of priests.
Hey friends, your pal Will Rose here. Sometimes I ask myself, have you ever wondered how you can support systematic geekology? Yes, I have. And well, if you're like me, you want systematic geekology to continue to grow and thrive. And you can do that by joining Patreon for as little as $3 a month. As a patron, you get bonus episodes. We answer bonus questions that our patrons get to hear. We have special shout outs. We have certain episodes that the patrons pick. So you help us create and curate the content that we put out for the world to hear. You even get free merch. And when I say that we're a worldwide podcast, that I'm not being hyperbolic. Somebody told me that we have over 20,000 subscribers from all over the world, and just half of those subscribers join Patreon for $3 a month. We would be set on keeping moving forward with the tech that we need to have the quality of podcast that we want our hearers to experience. And it'll help us get to certain events and conventions so that we can see you face to face and geek out with you in person. And let me just share that there's no shame, no guilt. If you can't join Patreon at this point, that's okay. That's okay. Just keep listening, keep sharing, keep liking, because yes, we're proud of what we're doing at Systematic Geekology. And friends, guess what? You can subscribe to Patreon for free to receive one extra bonus episode a month via the Patreon or Spotify app. That is fantastic. And we're glad that you're a part of it.
Hi, friends. It's Laura here. And I just wanted to say thank you for listening to our show. Systematic Geekology is a part of a larger podcast network called the Anazal Podcast Network. Dummy for Theology is Joshua Noel's show discussing different theological topics from various perspectives and attempting to give people more questions than answers. My Seminary Life is Brandon Knight's show. It started as him going through what he was learning in seminary, and after he graduated, he's been doing independent studies and has a lot of fun series like on hermeneutics, Bonhoeffer Summer, and worship. And then Friday Night Frights is a monthly show with Christian Ashley and Joe Day. They have a vote on the Systematic Geekology Facebook group to choose a topic each month and discuss everything from cryptos to ghosts to aliens to serial killers and more. So we hope you'll give it a listen, and thanks for being part of what we're putting out there.